Hello and welcome back everyone to the next episode on Fiori Security come Fiori Launchpad training with me Anubhav. In our last session, we talked about the concept of how SAP organize the business processes as part of S4HANA delivery, how exactly we as Fiori Security consultant should look at the perspective of business processes, where can we go and find out the documentation for business processes and involved roles for that business processes, and also we saw how can you go ahead and do the order to cash scenario in the company, and how exactly SAP designs or deliver you the content. We talked about the different roles in a company considering an example of sales department. So sales department have sales representative, process manager, accountant and managers. For each one of them, SAP delivers predefined roles. These predefined roles include predefined business catalogs, and they also have business catalog groups. But eventually, the tiles inside these business catalogs are referenced from a central catalog per area, which is what we call technical catalog. Technical catalog is home of all the tiles and target mappings, which are centrally defined per area, and from there a reference is being created inside. Eventually, you would not have large or long maintenance because all the tiles are referenced from the technical catalog. Now, first I will show you how do you do rapid activation for a particular business role. What is the process? So if you talk about order to cash or procure to pay or hire to retire, these are business scenarios actually typically have in a company. You would first find out all the relevant roles from the business process. You will aggregate those roles depending on your need, and then eventually you will make a list of those roles. And then you would do a Fiori rapid activation, which will eventually activate all the content, all the OData services, SICF nodes relevant for those roles, relevant for those business application. System will also generate the test user for your testing. And that's where the third task list, which was not yet discussed, is going to be used. I guess the fourth one, which I think we didn't discuss it yet. Okay, let me put the name of the task list. So that's the one we will be using for rapid Fiori. Now we are talking about rapid Fiori activation. Activation means we are going to activate those apps. So the task list is named as, let me just go, how to activate all apps in one go. Yes, easy way for a business role. Of course, I'm going to show you the complete implementation lifecycle also, so-called fit to standard workshop later. But right now, just focus on one role activation with the task list. So the task list is common. It's available in every S4HANA system starting 1809. And the name of the task list is SAP Fiori Content Activation. This is the task list. It's responsible for activation of all the apps required by a business user pertaining to a business role. Yes. Example, if in my company I've been asked to activate all the apps relevant for a sales representative, I will check the role in the best practice document. I found the role name as internal sales rep, and now I will use this for rapid activation. So last time you saw, if I go back and to my LX user, if I simply assign this standard SAP role, yes, LX will get all the list of tiles. Let me open LX. I'll just log in with user LX. Okay. So here eventually you will see there are many errors. Yes, you see error. There are many tiles which are loading infinite. There are this tile. You see when you saw this tile yesterday, some tiles are not even loading. They are infinite loading, which means there is a problem eventually in the system. Okay, that's the issue. So many tiles you see they remain like this. They will have errors. Now, if you start investigating each tile, each app one by one for a role, perhaps a role has 84 tiles, 84 apps. How long will you go and investigate these issues? It will become nightmare for you. It is very dangerous and very difficult to implement. अगर एक रोल को आपको 80 apps हैं, 80 apps if it in one role, it is taking you like 1 week. You have 500 roles in S4 HANA. Can you believe it will become a huge effort? And there is no way to fix it. So that's where the concept of Fiori activation comes into picture. Fiori rapid activation comes into picture. So you see it's not even loading. Even though the tile is visible, there are tiles which are errors, tiles will not work. So we need to activate all of them at once for the business role. So let me show you rapid activation. After that, each tile should ideally work fine. I'm going to go back to the system and we go back to T code STC01, the task list T code, and we'll put the name of the task list SAP Fiori content activation. And I can go for execute. And now the only thing which I should ideally give here is the name of my role. You see 480 roles are delivered precisely in S4HANA. Somebody was asking Anubhav how many roles SAP deliver. So depending on your system, you'll see here the count. You can go and choose the role. I'll put sales rep. I'll filter. I select. I go back. I save selection and go back. And now you see one role is selected. Now what it does, this will activate all the OData services, all the OData services relevant for that role. That role contains 48 Fiori apps, all 48 OData services, SICF nodes, whatever configuration, everything what is needed to activate. Yes, there may be certain V4 services. V4 is the new OData version. Yes, V4 services, V2 services, everything will be activated. Plus a test user will also be generated. A test user will be created out of the box. You can check this. A free test user. आपके लिए एक free में एक test user बन जाएगा. आप उसको खोल के testing कर सकते हो. Wow, I'm loving it. You can actually go inside and give the test user name also. Additional role assignment also you can give. You can give the password of the test user. Yes. So the test user will be starting with the name T underscore role name underscore A. Yeah. And you can give a password. Let me give password as welcome one W caps. And now I can go back. So a test user will also be created. For testing purpose, it will bring down your implementation cost drastically. Remember, इसको लगा डाला तो life जिंगा लाला. Exactly. Fiori rapid activation, guys. A nightmare for Fiori security consultant is simplified by SAP with this single task list. You can actually activate all the roles in the system in one shot. Yes, that is the potential. It runs for hours actually, and it will eventually activate everything in your system. Entire S4HANA, all the functionality will activate. Superb. Let me run this. Since we are choosing only one role, it should perhaps run little faster comparatively. Yeah, because that itself has 48 or 50 odd apps in that role. Yes, you see it's running this, and in few seconds you will see the task list will get over. That's what called rapid Fiori content activation task list. Interview question, 100% interview question. What is the task list you will use to activate the applications relevant for one Fiori role? 100% certification and interview question. The name is SAP Fiori Content Activation. Which version of S4HANA it is available? Available since 1809. S4HANA 1809, 2018 version of S4HANA on premise. It is available onwards. Very important interview question. Yeah. Those who can hear me, please type in chat window. Anubhav, we can hear you. Please type in chat window. Anubhav, we can hear you. Those who can hear me.
Anubhav, one question I'm having at the moment is that we have to do this on the production, or we can create a TR
Development system.
for this task?
Because it will generate the role, it will lock the role into transport request also. You can transport those roles.
The transporting of role is okay, but
Hit
this task
hit
list
transport
execution
option
method.
for activated OData service.
Okay.
So eventually, when you put it in a productive package, right now I'm doing $TMP, but when you put it in a productive package, it will put it in a transport request. You release the transport in quality in production. Wherever the transport go, it will activate the OData services in quality and production also. Everybody,
Okay.
are you clear? Okay, now the magic. You see, it has created a new user. Wow. User T304 in Ser was created. I can use this user now for testing. T304 in Ser. Let me check this user. You see, this is just a automatically created user. My request to all of you, if you are using this approach and creating user, please don't do this in my server, because user creation is not allowed in this server. If my basis finds you creating a user, your ID will be terminated and your all money you paid for server will be lost. A warning for those who are using this server, please uncheck the step number for test user, which is this one. Please uncheck this step for user requesting you, warning, caution. Please uncheck this step. If you're testing this task list, please uncheck this option. If you are not in my server, if my basis detect the user, which they will for sure, there is a job which runs every night detecting new users created by other users, they will terminate your ID. Don't come back to me saying that Anubhav, I didn't do it, it was not intentional. Please don't do this. Your ID will be terminated. I cannot do anything. Your money will be lost, whatever you paid for server. If you are using this is restricted. Only I did it to showcase you. In your company system, you're free to do this. No problem. Okay. Now we're done. So let's test with this user. Let's log into the Launchpad. What are we waiting? So I go to Fiori Launchpad. I'll use that user. I'll put the password which I gave. It will log in. And now I should see all the tiles related to sales representative out of the box in the system. That's what we will see over here. Ideally you should, because let me investigate the user, what it has generated. If you go to roles, it has assigned the sales rep role already. But I think the problem is it doesn't have the Launchpad basic role. Let me assign the Launchpad basic role also. The basic Launchpad user role, let me assign. That's our basic Launchpad user role. I'll save it. Let me just refresh. So Launchpad basic role has to be assigned, of course, which we generated in the last task list. And voila. You see guys, you see, no errors anymore. Every Fiori app is working fully functional. See, no errors at all, no errors at all. सब कुछ चलेगा आपका out of the box. आपको कोई भी Fiori app activate करने का जरूरत नहीं है. No OData you need to activate manually. सब कुछ ऑटोमेटिक आपका चलेगा if you using rapid Fiori activation. Everything will work. I go to manage sales order, it will work. Yes, exactly. No errors, you will see no issues, nothing, everything will work out of the box. Fiori rapid activation. समझ में आ गया क्या सब लोगों को? प्लीज आंसर इन चैट विंडो इफ यू अंडरस्टूड दिस कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ फ्योरी रैपिड एक्टिवेशन. रोल बाय रोल करते चलिए, आपका लाइफ जिंगालाला हो जाएगा. रोल बाय रोल एक्टिवेट योर फ्योरी कंटेंट. दिस इज द बून. इफ आई डोंट टीच एनीथिंग इन फ्योरी ना, if I just teach you task list, I can finish this whole training in 1 hour. More than that, you don't need to learn anything. Yes, to activate standard Fiori apps. To activate standard Fiori apps, I don't need to teach anything to you other than this one couple of task list. Actually, honestly speaking, if you just want to get the work done, just run the task list, work is done. Roll by roll karte chaliye, done. Okay, let me delete this user. My basis will fire me also if I have this user. Yeah. So now the role is also generated. You saw the generated role name in the task list. System also created a Z role. It will create automatically with the name called Z underscore something, whatever it is. Let me just show you the role name which is generated by system. So system will create a new business role with Z underscore the role name. Okay. Whatever is the original role name is, it will put a Z underscore before that and the role will be created. So you can go and check the role in PFCG also. This role would have got auto generated Z underscore. It was the main role was SAP Fiori sales representative, and a Z role with Z underscore got generated. Let me just check. Yes, here it is, Z SAP BR sales rep, auto generated by system, and this is what was granted to my user automatically. I deleted the user, so now you will not see this. Yes, and then what will happen eventually, that's how you will get it working. All the things are working seamlessly in the system. Fantastic. A test user was also created for testing purpose. Yes, and then you can utilize the concept. So for my user Alex Matthew, it was not working. It was giving error here. These apps were giving error. You see these errors. Yes, but for the other user which we used, everything worked. The test user which you got, everything worked because it was assigned this sales representative role by the system. You can also grant this role now to Alex. Let me do so. I go to Alex. आइए Alex को दे देते हैं ये role हम लोग. Let me remove this one, SAP standard role. I'll delete this. I'll grant this role. Yes, save it. And now I go back as Alex user. Alex was dumping, you see. If I refresh for Alex, Alex will also have everything working for say as a sales representative in the team. Voila, you see. For Alex, everything works now in the system. I'll put the role name for later uses. So what system does? When I ran the task list for role internal sales rep, system activated all the OData services required to run all the Fiori apps required for this role. It also created a demo, a role with permissions of business catalog group and services permission. This role was created. A test user was also created for testing the apps for sales rep. It simplified your task. It reduced down, bring down your implementation cost drastically. मैं एक दिन में सारा S4 एक्टिवेट कर सकता हूं All 480 roles which comes in S4HANA, I can activate in one day. I don't need a big basis team. I alone can finish the war. I'm the undisputed king of war. I alone can finish the war in one shot. Lord Krishna once said, Agar मैं आ गया, if I take the weapon in my hand, I'll finish the Mahabharat in 10 minutes, which ran for longest war exactly. With this task list, you can finish the entire activation of S4HANA, all Fiori apps in one shot with all 480 roles in one shot. Yes. It will work for both systems, central hub the the embedded scenario. You can go back and check the documentation I showed in the last class to see which task list is pertaining for front end and which is pertaining for back end. Perhaps this one is common for both back end and front end. Okay, now let's talk about the definition of what we learned yesterday. Actually, I just explained it, but I didn't give you definition which you can give in interview. So let me give bookish definition which you can put in interview in a more professional way to when somebody asks you what is technical catalog, what is business catalog. So you should be able to put it in a more professional way at front of user. SAP Fiori Launchpad content. What a class today, guys. What a class. Full of energy, full of amazing content. Fiori rapid activation. SAP Fiori provides standard catalog, groups, and roles delivered with their product. Like S4 HANA is a product. When you go to Maruti, when you go to Honda, they will show you their products. Honda will show you Honda City, right? Hyundai will show you Creta, i10, i20. Exactly. So this is a product. When you go to SAP to buy a software, they will show you S4 HANA is their model, is the ERP product. So SAP will deliver a lot of standard content with their product to make life of users and security consultants easy to adapt and activate solution faster. That's what SAP does. They will provide you all this. Yes, this is the main benefit of S4. All the apps related to a particular job function are more standard as per best practice. You saw yesterday sales representative क्या क्या कर सकता है, what is a sales representative can do. So you saw that how exactly a sales representative function in a company and what are all the apps that person needs. Yes, so according to that SAP design their content. This will save time and effort and brings down the total cost of implementation. Yes, that is what the main benefit you get when you use these. So you can avoid creating manual tiles for SAP standard apps, right? You don't have to create tiles for SAP standard apps which are coming to you. So this allows the business to use SAP Fiori content out of box से निकाला और यूज किया, like a pizza. You take out from the box the pizza and you start eating, correct? Ready to consume food. That's what Fiori Launchpad content which we saw in the last couple of classes. You can see already these roles. I showed you one of the slide. There are 480 plus roles delivered in S4HANA 2020 edge of now in the system. All of these together called content. So below is the structure of the content, how SAP delivers. So content include catalogs, roles, groups, tiles, target mappings, yes, semantic objects, ये सब कुछ आपका कंटेंट का ही पार्ट है दोस्तों। ये सब कुछ मिलके आपका कंटेंट बनाता है। ऑल ऑफ इट टुगेदर मेक्स योर कंटेंट। सो दैट इज व्हाई वी कॉल इट एज कंटेंट। ये इतनी चीजें बोलने की बजाय हम इसको बोल देंगे कंटेंट। इट्स ए कंटेंट। यस। फर्स्ट, टेक्निकल कैटलॉग। It always have SAP underscore TC. Yes, that's what the recognition. That's how you recognize it's a technical catalog. What is a technical catalog? A technical catalog contains all the business application, tiles, and target mappings related to whole area, complete area, whole area. Yes, related to whole area. Example, there is one technical catalog for sales. Yesterday we saw it was SAP underscore TC underscore CEC underscore SD common, which has all the sales area related apps. Okay. We should, guys, we should never add the technical catalog to a role. Can anybody tell me why? कभी भी गलती से ये मत कर देना दोस्तों। It is breach of security. Why we should not add directly the technical catalog in a role? Anybody? Why? No one?
Unnecessary app applications will be provided to user.
No, that's not correct answer. It's a partially correct but not correct. You lost the concept. Nobody understand yesterday's class. It means nobody reviewed the yesterday's class. I'm so sorry. You guys are asking a lot of questions, but nobody bothered to remember the last class. I'm very disappointed with this behavior. You guys have to also listen to me and go through the last classes before asking next class questions. How will you ask questions in the next classes then correctly if you're not able to answer this question? Very disappointed, guys. Very disappointed. So I showed you that technical catalog contains all the tiles for entire area. Entire area. Entire area means it will have tiles related to manager, accountant, process manager, and representative. Everybody's tiles are there. So if you grant this to a role and that role to a person, eventually that person, no matter who is that person, he or she will get all the apps of manager, accountant, process manager, and rep, which is not recommended. Let's say by chance that role is granted to sales rep. The sales rep will get all the apps for manager also, accountant also, manager, process manager also. Though he is not supposed to access those apps, he will get it because you have granted technical catalog access to somebody. Technical catalog has all the apps. So it's a security breach. Never ever ever grant access of technical catalog to anybody. Always you should create business catalog pertaining to a particular user role, and then grant the business catalog and business catalog group access to the manager. That's the main reason why we should never ever do this. That is the reason, because technical catalog is not meant for the granting access. It is meant for reuse of tile purpose. It is not meant for granting access of tiles to user. It is meant for reference purpose. That is why SAP use it. Okay. So next comes is business catalog. SAP underscore BC. A business catalog contains all the business application, tiles, and target mapping related to a particular business function slash user, business user. Example, sales representative, sales manager. That is what it contains. Particular to a business function, business user in a department. That's how they organize it. All the tiles and target mapping are created as reference from the technical catalog. From the technical catalog, we are referencing them as per the department. In the Fiori Launchpad designer, yes, that's where we do this to develop our content. So in case we want to customize the Fiori security content, this is a main requirement which will come across to you as a security consultant. They will ask you to customize. You would need also the tiles of standard apps. So we will take them from the technical catalog like business catalog. So we will create our own business catalog from technical catalog. That's how we will develop. I'll show the use case. You will understand it much better in real life in system. But please, I request and I beg you, pay attention to classes, review the classes after the class. You will keep forgetting this concept and then you will keep asking doubts related to past classes, and that will allow me to open the past class again and repeat the whole class for 1 hour. We will never be able to conclude this training for whole life until you practice, until you pay attention. It's fine in 1 hour you can't digest everything. You have to go back and look at the video, prepare notes, take a print out of this PPT and remember these things, how they're designed. It's a one-time effort. I am putting my heart and soul in the training. You should also do so. All right, moving next, business catalog group. So group, as you all know, it's for grouping purpose. BCG, business catalog group. Okay, it is used to group. So if you flood the screen with all the tiles, it will become very difficult for user to recognize. So it is used to group apps pertaining to the business need so that user can easily find the app on the screen in the correct group required to perform their tasks more effectively. This concept is obsolete or it's deprecated from S/4HANA latest release 2020, which we are talking about now, latest release, and subsided by pages and spaces, which we will discuss also. But at the moment, SAP is not forcing to migrate. Users have choice to continue with group for some more time, and to be very honest, I don't know how much time SAP will allow you to drag the group concept As of now, in my latest S4HANA 2020 system, even I'm using 2020 system latest, the groups are working fine and they will continue to work. I feel at least for 2 more years. They are not going to go away so easily because majority of the customers adopted the groups. It's not so easy to delete this concept permanently, but SAP announced the deprecation of this concept already in TechEd 2020. If you attended TechEd 2020, they announced that going forward, the group will be replaced by pages and spaces. So please adapt your content to pages and spaces. We will learn this in this training, but important for you to note that any new content you create, please create with pages and spaces, not with groups. If you are new to system, if you are starting fresh S4 HANA in your company, do pages and spaces, don't do groups. But if you already have it, no problem. I will teach both in this training. So no matter whether you are an old release of S4 HANA or new release of S4 HANA, this training will be effective for all kinds of consultants. Okay. But my duty is to also guide you right and inform you the right decisions which you should take. Okay. So the group is rather dumping all apps on the screen randomly, which makes it complex for end users to find the app. The grouping provides, from functional point of view, a good sense of access. Yeah, that's what the group provides. Like you have groups like sales processing or sales analysis. If you see here, sales order monitoring, sales order group has all the sales order related tiles. Sales quotation group has all the quotation related tiles. Debit memo has all debit memo tiles. Yes, you have billing related, so inquiries, contracts, analytics, master data, scheduling, rebates, discounts, discount processing, analysis, sales analytics. It has sales analytics related tiles. So this grouping is more effective and very helpful for business user. Actually, pages and spaces also does the same job. Once you see it, it's very easy to learn. Yeah, once you see it, you will understand. Then comes the last part, which is the role. Okay, so let's continue. Next part comes as the role, business catalog role or business role. So the fourth part comes as business role, also known as SAP underscore BR business role. Yes, where the business role is provided as template role. Template role means these role, if you simply grant, they will not get any complete access because these roles just contain the service names. IWSG access, IWSV access you will only get once you activate the service. So these are template roles you can make as a reference, as a copy, but you can't directly use them as it is. If you use them as it is, it will not affect, it will cause a lot of issues for your end users. So business catalog roles or business roles, yes, contains all the business catalogs and groups inside the role, a single access point for the content. Eventually, a role is what is assigned to user, which gives access to tiles. SAP S4 HANA 2020 as of now, on premise I'm talking about, delivers 480 plus business roles. This becomes foundation for rapid Fiori activation, for quick access or quick adoption of Fiori content. We provide the role name and search apps also by role in FLP reference library. That's what we exactly do. Yes. So this is what the concept of business role is. Later on, once I teach you fit to standard workshop, the goal of fit to standard workshop is to map the roles to the users in the company. We will talk about this later, but right now just understand there is something of this sort which exists, where you will actually do a feasibility study of what roles is truly required in your company to be able to grant access to the users. With that, now we move to the next phase where I talked about. So now you just understood how to find relevant roles with the best practice. You did a Fiori rapid activation. We already experienced the Fiori by test user. We saw the tiles and apps were loading. You can go drill down. You can go to level 1 launchpad, level 2 a analytic app. From there you can drill down to level 3 for more detailed insight to action, where you can actually run the apps and they are seamlessly integrated. That is what 3 steps we have done. In the next phase, we will learn how to adapt, adjust FLP content according to business role and the new topics like spaces, pages, and also the new tools like mass maintenance, backend catalog concept, fit to standard analysis, and then we have concepts like how to use web GUI application troubleshooting. If there's an app which is not loading, tile which is not loading, target mapping is missing, how do you troubleshoot Fiori apps, how do you upgrade UI5 version, how do you configure cloud connector. All these topics are going to come in our coming lectures. It's going to be very interesting journey, end to end you will learn everything to become a superhero on Fiori, Fiori security and Fiori administration. Now let's talk about our use case for this last step, adjust FLP content and business role. Because now you see, actually when we grant, it has got again lot of tiles. But to be very honest, how many tiles will our user will use eventually? We don't know, right? Only few tiles is what user is going to use in the company. If you look at really in a company, there are so many tiles, but actually user will not use all of them. Yeah, they will maybe not use all of them. So now important part is we need to understand how to adapt the content with custom need. So let me put the use case across to you today. You will try this as an exercise, and then in the next class I will show you the solution. Over the weekend you guys will try this exercise. So let me put the use case, and then we will implement this use case in next class, but you guys can try this out yourself in the system. So now let's put the use case. You have recently joined as a Fiori security consultant to one of S4 HANA project running at anubhavtrainings.com. This is where S4 HANA project is running. In this company, in the company, we have several departments like sales, HR, yes, SD sales only, finance, marketing, yes. We have several departments in the company. You have been invited by sales department to solve their challenge and needs of Fiori apps needed at different levels in organization. We will keep this use case simple to understand, will not flood you with multiple roles. I'll just take 2 different roles. That's all I'll take so you can understand. Okay. Now, so before you joining, there was a SAP Fiori consultant supporting them before you joined. So now I'm coming to the use case. So why they called you, why the sales team called you in the company. So they called you and they told you that before you joined as security consultant, there was already a SAP Fiori security guy in the team who simply granted the template role access to the users without as it is delivered by SAP. Like what we did today, we took the sales rep role, we granted it to Alex. Alex got all the tiles, everything Alex got related as a sales representative. Yes, that's what the guy which was working before you have done it. Yeah. So this is not a good type of implementation because he didn't even bother whether that user would need that tile or not need that tile. He simply granted the access and left. Okay. Somehow just doing a formality of the job. Basically, this is a dirty work. So though all the required apps by sales team are accessible, but they are only using hardly 20% of the apps granted to them. Yes. So out of all these 20% or let's say 30% apps are used heavily daily basis, and then let's say 10% used on weekly basis and 1% used on monthly basis, yearly basis. But not all apps they are using on daily basis in their teams. So security is first principle. When I started this course, I told you give as minimum access as desired to perform the job. Yeah, as minimum as desired. That is what we understood when we started this course. So the goal is to optimize the launch pad for the sales department, which includes sales representative and sales manager. So they have only two types of people in the company in sales department. Either a person is sales representative or a person is sales manager. So now they want to customize their launchpad to make it look beautiful, to make it look clean, neat and clean, rather than just flooding the apps coming out of the box from SAP roles. They want the relevant apps used on daily, weekly, monthly basis on the launchpad. They want to customize. So we need to adjust the SAP Fiori launchpad content as per below requirement. So I'm telling you the requirement now, how they want. As I already mentioned, there are only two types of people in the company. The first type of people is sales representative. Yes. So, and then the second type of person in their sales department is sales manager. So if I just grab a photo of sales representative icon from Google, you will relate it much better. So this is more of a sales representative in the company. Yes, just think over it. A sales representative and a sales manager. Sales representative is more of a sales representative person, and sales manager is more of an executive person in the team. So let's bring the sales manager, and let's bring, okay, just get sales representative icon, little more of like a employee kind of thing. This one looks good. Is looking like a sales representative. Makes sense. So one type of person in the company is a representative and another is a manager. You can see how they look like. Now you can visualize it better. So as a representative, we need the apps related to representative and apps related to manager. One question to all of you, how many roles you would need? Very good, Swami. Fastest answer. Very good. I like your answer. Two business roles. Very good. Up to the point answer. Let's keep it ZATS Anubhav Trainings. I'll put the namespace. Business role, sales rep, representative. Yes, this is one business role I would need. And the second one, ZATS Anubhav Trainings, business role, sales manager, MGR. We will create two business roles. How many catalogs, business catalogs you would need? Business catalogs, two. Very good. One for sales representative. Let's keep the naming convention ZATS, business catalog, sales rep, and ZATS. You see, our content has a proper namespace. Anybody can read this content easily. That's how the naming convention you should follow. Sales MGR, manager. So now you know that at least one role and one catalog per role you would need. Similarly, you would need groups. Now I'll talk about the groups, how many groups you need. So a sales representative, in spite of being a sales representative, he's also an employee. Okay, he's a employee. So what tiles does he need? So first set of tiles he need to do his job function. Yeah, his job function. So he would need tile to create inquiry. Yesterday we saw order to cash process, right? So you would need inquiry. You would need application to create quotation. These are all standard applications he would need. He would need application to manage sales order. Yes. Now as a manager would also need, let's say, sales order application to change sales order. Manager would also need, let's say, analyze sales order issues. Analyze sales order issues, sales order fulfillment issues. That's what he need. And then what else do we need? As a, in spite of being a representative, he's an employee. So he would also need a tile, a app access for able to apply leaves. So create leave request, create timesheet, record time, by basically my timesheet. This is a Fiori app from HR area. And then he is an employee. So all the employees in the company apply some policy, company portal. So company portal access they need, or website access of the company, where they can see, read the policies. Then as a manager is also employee eventually. Manager can also create leave request, manage timesheets. Additionally, manager can approve timesheets and approve leave request, which is what manager does this job using the My Inbox Fiori app. I'll talk about it later more in detail. It's part of your training, but just understand this is an approval application where manager approve, reject the leave request and timesheet. Okay, that's what a manager would be able to do. Plus manager is also employee, so you would need a portal access, the website access also. Yes. So you need to now design a business catalog which consists of these standard Fiori apps, and that's all they should see. When manager log in, they should only see this. Right now they see everything, दुनिया भर की apps दिख रही है screen के ऊपर, पता नहीं क्या करती हैं ये apps. It's very confusing. You flooded the content, everything you put in. We don't want that. We want to be very honest. The apps relevant, only this much should be the launchpad look and feel. This should be the cleanness of your work. This is the right way of implementing things. You can activate everything, but eventually you should have a clean content on the launchpad. Whatever they truly need, you need to sit with business and understand how much they need. Give as minimum access they would need. Now in this, if you notice, there are some part which is absolute common, which is this portal website. So for this, we will create a separate catalog because this is something common. I wanted to give it to anybody. So ZATS business catalog portal and ZATS business catalog group. By default, every employee, no matter which department they work, they will always get this access. That is what I'll do. So guys, you need to now know the names. You need to design this content by yourself, create, assign it to the users and see if this content is displayed. The group names I will tell you. No, I will not tell you how you need to design. You need to design it. And solution I will next tell you in the next class. I will not tell you anything. BC, TC, whatever. You have to think about it. You have to come back with the design. Give me the screenshot. That's all you need to do. So this will be a sales group. All the sales related apps. This will be a employee self-service ESS group. And then we will have on the other side the group name for sales monitoring or sales manage group. This will be the group. And then there will be manager self-service MSS will be there. Yes, that's what we will have. So that's all we have. So now you need to design this content and take a screenshot of your systems and come back to me in the next class. I will first start the next class asking you if you completed this exercise or not. And then I will show you the solution from my perspective, how it can be designed, how you will design end-to-end content, grant the roles to them separately, and we'll see how the launchpad would look like eventually for the manager, yes, and for the representative. My representative name is Alex and my manager name is Nolan. This is a actual person, actual user in SAP server, Alex and Nolan. So they will get accordingly. When I log in with Alex, I should see this my launchpad. When I log in with Nolan, I should see this as my launchpad. You have to think all the knowledge I've given to you. You have to think how do you design this. Come back to me with your solution. I'm done with today's session. Let me take the question from chat window first and then we'll take next. First question, if UI5 apps are going to deploy on cloud, how can we check the version of UI5? So it doesn't matter whether it is cloud or on-premise. You go to the Fiori app, you load the app, you press Control Alt Shift P, Control Alt Shift P to check the version. Control Alt Shift P, Control Alt Shift P, Control Alt Shift P, Control Alt Shift P. This is the shortcut to see the version. How can we create user which are not SAP user but still require some Fiori apps? You can't. You can't. You have to have an actual user in SAP server in SU01. Without that, no security, no access. Sorry. No security, no access. No security, no access. Exactly. Simple rule. Nobody can bump in your system without access. Is Launchpad configuration is different from cloud than on-premise? Yes. We will cover also that in your training, cutting edge training. No, but no trainer cover this topic. It's called CFLP. Central Fiori Launchpad in SAP BTP is part of your training. जो भी आप सोच सकते हो सब कुछ मैंने डाल दिया इस ट्रेनिंग में. It's a cutting edge content. Central Fiori Launchpad in BTP is also part of your training. We will cover this. Please hold on your breaths for some more days. I will cover that topic. पक्का cover करूंगा. How do you transport? Please check the previous classes. I've already covered this topic. I'll not cover it again. Please check your previous class. How do you transport? I already covered even today how you run the
Yeah,
STC01
Anubhav,
and put it in
in
transport.
1809, when you generate Fury content activation, there is an option. There is no option to include package and transports.
I am not sure if that's the case. You have to check once again maybe. So you see here we put a productive package and now I have an option to specify my customizing request or create a new transport automatically in the system. This is part of task list. In the task list which I showed you, if you don't have this, maybe you can report to SAP. In my opinion, I think it is there. In my opinion, I think it is there. I worked on 1809 long back. I think it was there. You have to check it.
Okay. Okay. Just now I have checked in my system 1809 only. There is no transport. It is not asking this option.
Okay.
Okay. Yes.
There is a SAP note for that, I think. In 1709, we implemented it, and even we could have the transport
Yes.
option.
Yes. Yes. There has to be some
Okay.
note to downport the changes which are latest release changes to the lower releases, and you will perhaps see this option. After implementing that note, you will get it. Perhaps you should look at the material which I shared you long back in this slide. It has everything to it has everything what you need for each version, the notes and the relevant information. You need to read little bit, guys. Everyone has a different system. There are a lot of different use cases, a lot of combination, infinite combination, depending on your company and project. So you have to read this block. I'm sure you'll find the relevant notes which you can implement to enable that option.
Okay.
Yes, very important.
What is the difference between when you do activate the OData service? There is option like local and local, and there is a deployment option, co-deployment option.
Co-deployment means it's an embedded server. It's just a different name of embedded system.
Okay.
Yes.
So most of the case we will deploy like co-deployment only,
Yes,
right?
that's
Then
a
if it is
recommended
embedded.
option by SAP. Exactly.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Mohit has a question. UiFi development where we can check the version if the app is going to deploy it on cloud. So that depends on your synergy, how your company want the app to be. Are they building cloud app or are they building OP app? That your manager or architect should clear at the beginning itself. Eventually, it's a Fiori app. You want wherever you want, you can deploy it. Cloud related deployment, you need to wait. I will come to this topic after we complete Fiori security units, and then we will see cloud deployment. I'm sure that time all your cloud deployment questions will be answered, Mohit. Maybe we need to wait for.
Sir, like we have to start the developing an app, so we need to know that whether this control is working or not in that particular app. So
It
for
doesn't
that we
matter
need
where you
to know.
deploy. You have to see the version of UI5 if that control is in the version of UI5 or not on which you're
So
building.
that version 5 we need to know. For example, table pop-in is need to be deployed, is need to
Okay,
be incorporated in
I
an
got
app.
your point. So in the server, you want to check what's the version the server has. You can go to SICF.
But that is a, but sir, that is on-premise version, right, sir?
Mhm.
My app will not be going to be deployed on on-premise
It
system.
depends how you bootstrap. So in the cloud, you directly bootstrap with SAP UI5.hanaondemand.com, which is a direct link to load the latest version all the time. So
Okay,
you should not have that problem.
okay. Thank you, sir.
Anubhav, in on-premise, is it a suggestible option to directly refer that SAP HANA On Demand
No,
UFI
no, no,
library?
no, no, no. We will come to this topic in coming class. Please wait. Yes, not at all. Not at all.
Okay.
In cloud, he's talking actually. In cloud sense, he's talking. In cloud sense, you can refer. In OP, it's not recommended.
Yeah, but at times, like our SAP UFI version was not compatible,
Yes.
and there was a scenario where we want that explicit control. So
Mhm.
what we thought of is having directly referring to that cloud library of
You
UFI.
can upgrade your UI5 in the server. I'll cover this topic in the coming classes, how to upgrade UI5 in server. It's super easy and it won't require a NetWeaver upgrade.
Yeah, but even if we don't upgrade, then will it run? If we
You can
directly refer
still
the
you can
cloud,
refer, but remember you should have internet connection.
okay. Yeah. Okay.
It should be widely
And is there any yeah. And is there any life cycle of a Fury app?
we have covered the life cycle in early days of our classes. I'm sure if you joined in the middle, you missed this part. Please go back to the previous classes where we covered the life cycle of a Fiori app. This one, Fiori app development process and life cycle. Please check this class again.
Okay. Okay. So after maintenance, we are not going to retire it, right? It will be completely in maintenance. Okay.
Depends company to company, project to project.
Okay. Okay.
Can we check standard UI5 code in WebID? Please wait for extension unit. We will cover it there. Control Alt Shift P. Yeah. Upgrade Swami. We will see upgrade of UI5 version later. Guys, my another training has started. I have to rush. I'm really sorry. We can take more questions. I think these are all advanced questions. They will be answered with the time. You need to wait for the right time. All these questions are advanced questions. What you are putting.